What's new, crew? Good morning. If you're new, my name is Cassandra. Today we're hanging out in my kitchen. We're doing more egg projects. My chickens are starting to slow down just a little bit. Just for reference, we have 28 laying hens. We have 2 roosters. We have like 2 mini flocks that kind of all commingle together. And I got 7 eggs this morning, which is pretty much nothing, which it's nothing. Usually I get about 24, 25 eggs a day, sometimes more, which is what we've been doing recently. But they're slowing down a little bit, which is okay. I have my sink full of eggs over the last couple days. We're gonna get a lot of these washed up and we're going to do some breakfast prep with these today. Already did breakfast and I have some leftover breakfast sausages here from this morning. This is from the whole pig that we just purchased. I think today I'm gonna go out in the freezer and show you guys the pig and different cuts that we got and just walk you through that. If you're looking into purchasing a whole pig, you've never done that before. This is only the 2nd time we've done it, but we learned a lot last time. So we're gonna go out there today, I think, as well. But I have my Instant Pot out. We're going to make a ton of hard-boiled eggs. If I have hard-boiled eggs in the fridge, my son will blow through them like nothing. My husband likes to bring them for just an easy breakfast on the way to work or just snacks and things to throw in his lunchbox. So we're gonna get those eggs washed up. I'm gonna show you guys how to make hard-boiled eggs in your Instant Pot. Super easy. I'm never going back to making them on the stove because it's just perfection. They peel like a dream. We're gonna do that. I think we're going to make some baked egg bites for my husband out of these leftover breakfast sausages up here so that he can bring those to work with him. And maybe I'll make some breakfast burritos and throw those in the freezer as well. We'll see what happens, but first things first, we have to wash up these eggs and get those going. So let's start with that. This is what I put in my water with my eggs. I use this about 75% of the time. It's kind of when I remember to put it in the water, but it works like a dream. It gets straw off, it gets all the nasties off. It works really, really well. I get mine at Tractor Supply. I think it's like 10 bucks for a jug like this, and it lasts forever. You only need a cap full for about a sink full of eggs. So it works really, really well. I love it. It's a really nice soak and it peels everything off, makes it come off way easier. How I wash my eggs is actually just with a washcloth, and I'll wash them off, and then I have a towel here that I'll kind of dry them on. So it's just kind of like an assembly line. My kids love to help with this, so sometimes they'll pop up and help as well. And then once all the eggs are dried, I will carton them and get them in the fridge. Washed eggs have to go in the fridge, unwashed don't. So when I have clean eggs, I won't wash them. I package them up right away and I store them separately. And we donate all of our clean, unwashed eggs to the food pantry. That's how they want them, so that they can be shelf stable. So once I wash them, they don't really have the space to store them. So I keep all of my unwashed clean eggs separate for them. So these are just my leftover dirty, yucky eggs that I wash and hand out to either family, neighbors, or we keep for ourselves. It really doesn't take much to wash them because that egg wash does a really good job of like getting everything loosened and off. So a lot of the times all I have to do is rinse them and they come out really, really well. But you want to make sure you wash them well, especially if you're putting them in the Instant Pot, because otherwise you are literally baking chicken poop and your whole house will reek. I've done that once or twice, missed a spot. Whoo! And that smell lingers in the house for forever. So okay, eggs are washed, sink is disinfected. What I'm gonna do is, oh, I totally just crushed an egg. It's okay, we'll use it. Okay, we're gonna get about a cup or so, cup and a half of water, and we're gonna dump this in the bottom of our Instant Pot. So I'm just going to dump this in my Instant Pot. You just need enough basically to put about an inch of water on the bottom of the Instant Pot. Everything I've read has said to put the metal rack in your Instant Pot because you don't want your eggs sitting in the water. Well, I've never done that and my eggs have always turned out just fine. So I just pop my eggs in right in the Instant Pot, and you're gonna put them on high pressure for 5 minutes, and then you're gonna let them sit for 5 minutes. And then I let mine cool down, and then they peel like a dream, and that's why I hate making hard-boiled eggs, because I hate peeling them. But when I make them this way, they peel right in half and it's amazing. So I'm just going to basically fill my Instant Pot with as many eggs as I think we're gonna eat in the next couple of days, which typically is about half or 3/4 of the Instant Pot. And we're gonna get this going, and then while this is doing its thing, we're going to start whipping together some eggs, getting our oven preheated, and we're going to make some egg bites with our leftover breakfast sausage here. Now, my husband is a very meat and potatoes kind of guy, so I'm gonna make mine just with the sausage and the cheese. If I were making these for myself, I would throw in like spinach and bell pepper and onions, and I'm a more is more kind of person, so I would put more in. My husband is a less is more kind of person, so we're just gonna keep it simple for him. But my point is, you could throw in literally whatever you wanted. You could throw in, look through your fridge and find whatever kind of vegetables that you would maybe normally throw in an omelet, or leftover meat, whether it be bacon or ham, lunch meat, whatever it is. And you can kind of use up your leftovers this way, and also meal prep for yourself. So you're reducing your food waste and your meal prepping, and it'll just make you feel like the best person on the planet. So we're gonna close up our Instant Pot and get these going. You're gonna hit your steam button. You're looking for high pressure, and we're gonna do it for 5 minutes. Make sure that your valve is closed on top, your steam valve, and we're just gonna hit start, and we're gonna let this do what it does while we do some other things. I'm gonna utilize my KitchenAid for this, and I just remembered I have a bucket of eggs in my fridge that I wanna use up because they've been in here for a minute. I have some eggs in here, I don't know if you guys can see, probably about a dozen or so. I want to use these up. They've been in the fridge for a little bit. I forgot that I had these in there. Otherwise, I would have put these in the Instant Pot. But I'm going to utilize my KitchenAid today.
Mom, stop talking. Mom, please quiet away.
I need a...
Is invisible power where she can poop everywhere. That's so cool.
I'm saving my eggshells, and I'm going to give these right back to my chickens. This is always the fun part. I have 2 fairy eggs from some of our spring chickens this year. I still get them every once in a while, and the fun part is cracking these open and see what's actually in here. Sometimes it's absolutely nothing. Can you guys see? There's an itsy bitsy little yolk in there, but mostly just an egg white. Very fun. This one's a little bit bigger. Ooh, that's a bad egg. Okay. I'm gonna season this with pepper, seasoned salt. I'm gonna do onion powder too. I'm gonna keep it.
That black egg. I want that egg.
Which one? This one?
No.
This one?
No.
This one?
No.
The blue one.
Yeah, the blue one. I got the blue one.
Okay.
It's cool.
I'm gonna let the KitchenAid do the work for me here. We're seeing this up. My goal is to not be in the kitchen super long today because I want to work on continuing to spring clean my house. So while the KitchenAid is mixing this, we're gonna chop up this breakfast sausage and prep our pans. I'm gonna turn my oven on 350. Typically, if I were making these like intentionally, I would have ground our sausage, but I made patties this morning because that's what the kids wanted with breakfast. But that's okay, I'm just gonna chop these up. If I felt like dragging out a piece of equipment, I could put these in the food processor and it would take care of it for me in a second, but I just don't feel like dragging it out and then cleaning out a big piece of equipment just to chop it. So I'm just gonna do it with my knife.
Well, that plastic's well. Mom, these are cool.
And then it just depends on what size muffin tin you're going to be using for how small you want your sausage. Obviously, the smaller the muffin pan, the smaller you're gonna want your sausage. And that's for everything that you're chopping up, whether that be your vegetables or whatever. So I think I'm gonna use like a, normal size muffin tin today. So I don't need these to be super tiny. So that should be good. I'm gonna pull out our cheese, prep our pans, and we're moving right along. Hopefully we'll only have to be in the kitchen for about 20 minutes this morning, and we'll have a ton of egg prep done as well. Pulling out what I have in the fridge right now, which is Colby Jack and cheddar, and we'll kind of mix and match, see what happens there. Here is my muffin tin. I have like every size muffin tin you can think of. this is what I'm using today. I'm trying to get away from like spray pan. So I'm gonna take a little bit of olive oil with my fingers and just rub. Give our eggs just another really quick whisk here just to make sure that the KitchenAid did what I needed it to. Okay. I find that using a ladle or a measuring cup is the best way to do this. These are gonna puff up just a little bit, so you don't wanna fill it completely. And you have to remember that when you throw in your cheese and your sausage, it's gonna push the egg mixture up.
We need more.
So then what I like to do is take just a little bit more egg.
That's all right.
And put it kind of right over the top. That way the cheese sits more in the middle of the egg cup. So when you break it open, you can get a little bit of that like ooey gooey cheese action.
One for him.
Thanks, bud.
You're welcome.
Put these in the oven. Like I said, 350 until you can shake it and see how your eggs are shaking. You just want to be able to shake it and have it not jiggle. That's when the eggs are good to go.
Mom, this egg is cool egg.
I have a little bit of the mixture left, and I could wait and just use the same pan. Just pull those out. But like I said, I'm trying to minimize my time in the kitchen today. So I'm just gonna prep another pan and throw this in the oven with our first batch of eggs. I don't have that much egg mixture left, so we'll see just how many more eggs we get. I don't have a lot of sausage left either, so we'll see what we can do here. While those are in the oven, our Instant Pot is still coming up to heat here. I'm going to clean the kitchen, get things in the dishwasher, wash my hands, and get ready to peel some eggs. That way we're just moving like a line today and getting everything knocked out, and we can get out of the kitchen. Out of the kitchen, right.
Out of the kitchen, right?
Out of the kitchen.
Out of the kitchen.
Yes, out of the kitchen.
Yeah, out of the kitchen.
It has been a really productive morning thus far. Eggs are already washed.
I ran in this movie.
Eggs are already washed, ready to go in the fridge. Egg bites are in the oven. Hard-boiled eggs are going. These are going to be done in about 5 minutes. We're counting down. And we've only been in the kitchen for about 20 minutes. So that feels really, really awesome. We're already cleaned up. So now all we're going to have to do is pull these out of the oven, let them cool, get our egg bites in the fridge, and peel our hard-boiled eggs, and we're done. So how I like to store my eggs, you're going to hear the Instant Pot in the background. But my dad got me this for Christmas, and he picked it up from a flea market. And this is what I use for our personal eggs to make sure we always have a dozen in here. So I'm gonna fill this. Here, do you wanna put your blue egg in here? Perfect. Do you wanna pick another egg?
Yeah.
Okay, go pick another egg. And I just do this to make sure that we always have a dozen in the fridge for ourselves. It hatched it.
Yeah, it was just a dog.
It's okay, the puppies will clean it. Here, hold it tight. Perfect. Good job, bud. Okay, so I filled our dozen back up. I'm gonna put this in the fridge, and we use these just for like breakfast in the morning, scrambles, omelets, things like that. We use this to hold all of our other eggs once they're clean and dried. It's just easier that way, especially when we're doing something like this where I am potentially using like 6 dozen of eggs at a time. And it just keeps it easier that way for us to pull it down and use as many eggs as we need. So I'm just gonna load this back up now that we emptied it out today. And this is kind of what the egg rotation looks like, kind of on a weekly basis. So we're just gonna finish loading this up. Here we go, you guys. We just finished off. Here are my egg muffin bites. They look fantastic. I'm just gonna let these completely cool before I put them in Ziplocs. I'll put probably 2 or 3 in a Ziploc and then just stack them in the fridge. And my husband can take those with him as he pleases. My husband has to work this weekend. It's Wednesday, so normally I wouldn't meal prep a ton like this on a Wednesday, but because he's working through the weekend, they will go through and he will eat these definitely, which is awesome. They smell really, really good. And then my hard-boiled eggs are already wrapped, peeled, and in the fridge. My son has already been picking off of the hard-boiled eggs, so I already have a couple less than what I started. But that's that. We finished our meal prepping and we were only in the kitchen for almost an hour, which seems like a lot just for 2 things, but I was also talking on the phone with my mother-in-law for most of it, so just moving a little bit slower, hanging out with the kids, kid breaks. But just like that, we went through probably 4 or 5 dozen eggs, which is awesome. Got all of our eggs washed in the fridge for the next couple of days. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with me. But before I end this, I guess let's go out in the fridge in the garage, and I'll show you guys the pig and what we got there. Okay, so we're in the garage. It's a crazy mess right now, but here we are. So this entire freezer, except the very bottom rack, is all pork. So we have steaks on the bottom, roast on the bottom, some venison steaks and things like that, and some fish that my husband got, a ton of whitefish. But everything from here up is all different cuts of pork. What we did last time, we actually got half of a pig last year. We purchased a whole pig, but we ended up splitting it with my in-laws, and that half of a pig lasted us almost a full year, which was great for our family size. However, we do have another baby now. Obviously, at 3 months old, she's not eating yet, but she will be towards the end of the year, so she's also going to obviously our meat is going to be going up, especially as our kids grow. So it's better to figure these things out now. Last year, we got all of our sausage made into breakfast sausage, and we got them pressed into patties, which was really great. We loved it, but we didn't get enough for 6 months or a year at all. We flew through them. We wanted to change that up this year. We also didn't get any Italian sausage last year, so I was still buying that at the store, and we didn't like that. So what we opted to do this year is we got our sausage just made into 1 pound blocks here. We split it. We did about half into the maple sausage, which is our breakfast sausage. We add in the maple flavor for a maple breakfast sausage, but depending on your butcher, you can leave it plain. It's really up to you. So my biggest tip would be to make sure that you are telling them exactly what you want. Ask a ton of questions. That's something we didn't do last year. We did not ask enough questions. We just kind of went with like a basic package, which in hindsight was probably a good thing to do on the other hand, because we saw what a basic package was, and we were able to make just a couple of adjustments to personalize it for what our family specifically needs. So we got a ton of breakfast sausage, and then what we actually did was we got a ton of ground pork sausage, and we actually left this plain. So it's just ground pork sausage. We had them leave it plain. We didn't add any seasonings to it. That way, if we run out of breakfast sausage, we can add flavor to make this breakfast sausage. We can add Italian seasonings that we grow in the summer, all of our herbs and stuff, to make this Italian sausage. So there's a lot of options just leaving it plain, which I think is going to be a great benefit for us. Of course, we got tons and tons of bacon. We have them wrap them in 1 pound increments because that's what our family needs right now. As our family grows, we might bump that up to 2 pounds, but for right now, we kept it at 1 pound. We got a ton of pork chops. That was the cut that we ran out of the fastest last year. We love a really basic pork chop. We have a ton of different recipes that we use for it. We love to grill it. So we got as many pork chops as they would allow us. We got a lot of rib steaks. We cut all of our ribs down into steaks this year, or all of our hocks into steaks. And we also got 3 huge hams off of our pig. And last year we kept, because we split the pig with my in-laws last year, we got a ham, they got a ham. And what my father-in-law does with his is he keeps 1 ham whole, and then he takes the smaller ham and has the smaller ham cut down into ham steaks. And I did that last year. We ended up not actually liking that as much, so we kept our hams whole. We got 3 hams off of this pig, and they are ginormous. They're so big that they couldn't fit in here. We actually had to move things around and put them downstairs in our basement in our big, like 6 foot by 6 foot cubic freezer, because it was not fitting up here, which is a great problem to have. So those are kind of some changes that we made this year, keeping some of our ground sausage basic, not adding any seasoning, so that throughout the year, as we run out of specific things like breakfast sausage, we can make it into breakfast sausage, we can make it into Italian sausage, we could keep it just plain ground pork and make ground pork tacos and add Mexican spices to it. And I think that's going to be a game changer for us this year personally, especially as the pork starts to kind of dwindle down and we don't have as many options. So I think that's gonna be a really good thing for us this year. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, taking some time out of your day to watch one of my videos, and I will catch you guys in another one. Bye.
Way back a year ago.